Hello, and welcome to the Patreon only series. It's a lot with me, James Lott Jr. It is a lot, and I'm trying to give you all kinds of content from various mediums that you may not, like it won't be the same thing every time. Like here's an extra book, or there's gonna be a little bit of everything. I put bloopers for my shows, series like this, also screenplays that I didn't produce, pictures, songs, everything. So thanks for being a subscriber. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, tell them to come on over, subscribe. It's been wonderful. So it's another edition of the show. And this is always my little short series. Well, short series. It's a series that's not that long in length in show, where I kind of tell you a story, a short story about something that's happened in my life. And this one, as you can tell in the title, is when I helped a flight attendant midair. So let me give a little drink of my orange juice that plays into the story. Yummy. So here's the deal, kids. I was on a flight with my best friend and coworker. Now, I hate flying. I hate flying. Not a fan. Not a fan of flying at all. So usually when I get on planes, there's a whole ritual I have to do. I'm not afraid of crashing. I'm afraid of turbulence. I don't like turbulence. I've been in planes with bad turbulence. So that stuck with me. So for me, it's all been about getting on a plane and get comfortable so I can just handle the flight. So that's either a pill, I have pills, or I have some alcohol that loosens me up, or something just to kind of get me, just to get me up, because I don't like takeoffs. So we do takeoffs, get in the air. Once I'm in the air, if not much is happening, I'm fine. Right? I always get nervous, but most of the time the flights are fine, right? They're fine. Little shakes here and there, no big deal. I usually have a TV, even from some planes. If not, I have my laptop. I'm watching something to keep my mind going. Hopefully, I sleep off and on. Anyway, it was a flight. There was nothing going on really on the flight. Flight's an easy flight cross country. We used to run conferences, me and my roommate / best friend, and we would go. And we fly towards the back of the plane a lot of times. We pick seats back there. It was nice and calm, quiet. Get to know the flight attendants. They give you a little extra thing. They like throw a little extra back in the day. They throw you a little extra wine or whatever. It's all good. We yuck with them. They're back there hanging out, yucking. So anything to keep my mind off the flights. That's the whole point, right? So there's a flight where I had to go to the bathroom. Now, when that happens, it's like, ooh, I have to go to the bathroom. If I get up, it means I really have to go to the bathroom. I don't like get up on a plane. I don't like stand up on planes. I don't have to. But if I have to go, I have to go. You have to go. Let me pee. So I go and I pee. I go to the bathroom and I pee. And I come up to talking to one of the flight attendants. I just start kind of talking a little bit. She's like, hey, how's it going? Are you flying? I was like, yeah, girl, blah, blah. We're like talking. Then all of a sudden she faints. At this point, there's usually A, B, and C flight attendants, right? So the other two were way up front. They were talking. Like it was a long cross-country flight. So there are moments where there's no service really, or anything. Just kind of you catch up talking, and whatever. They're in the front. And I was like, now I'm a former nurse, so I know what to do. I'm trained. So usually the protocol is I go, hi, I'm a former nurse, not practicing now, but I know what to do. I'm going to help you. I go, can you hear me? Are you okay? And I kind of shook her. I looked at her and I kind of gently picked her head up a little. I was looking at her, are you okay? And she started coming to. She didn't hurt anything. I was checking to see if there's any bumps. She didn't. She kind of fell. It's funny because we were back there and she kind of almost felt like do on TV where like fake falling, but it was like for real. She kind of fell to the side. She fell on her side. So I said, check their ears and started checking everything was fine. So I picked her. And so then the flight attendants in the front saw me picking her up to sit her on one of the jump seats. And I said, do you have low blood sugar? What's going on? She goes, yeah, I'm diabetic. I didn't eat anything. And I guess it's hitting me right now. So I was like, okay, where's your orange juice? It was always my first thing for blood sugar, or a piece of candy. I said, have candy? No, I said orange juice. She goes, right over there. I got to the cart and I gave her some orange juice. And then the flight started coming back. And I checked your temperature, checked their eyes, and she was like, yeah, she was starting to the colors come back into her skin. And I was about to flight. She was like, oh my goodness, thank God you were here. We were up front, what happened. And she said I hadn't eaten, I think I was gonna eat when we landed. So I was on a special diet. When I landed, I guess I just haven't, it really got to me and fainted. So it was so funny. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm doing all this while the plane's in the air. Like, they're 35,000 feet. I can't believe that seriously, when somebody's in trouble, I forgot everything. And I was like, oh my goodness. So we're actually, I think, an hour or so outside of our ending. I won't say that, our landing in San Francisco. And so she opted out. They said she must just sit the rest of the flight because she was still kind of out of it. And I said I would monitor her, I would check on her here for the next, as long as I can get out the seats. And I said, I don't know what the protocols are. I'm so sorry, but they're like, no, we are so happy you're here. We're also trained for medical stuff. So flight attendants are trained for a lot of stuff, trust me. So we'll watch her. Thank you so much for watching her. We'll watch her. And I said, well, if I have to go to the bathroom, I'll look at her again because you guys are trying to work. And so I went back to my seat and told my friend and colleague what happened. He goes, I thought I heard something bad happen back there. I turned around and you both were gone. And if you turn around and look, we were gone. So that was always a window seat. He liked the aisle. And he loved the aisle, so which is very kind of funny. And so that was fine. So then and then they did it over the loudspeaker. We want to thank our passenger. They asked my name and everything. I said, my name is James Lott Jr., blah, blah, I work for this company. They're like, I want to thank James Lott Jr. for being there for our flight attendant, blah, blah. And everybody clapped for me. And then then they gave me more free booze and free. So I was like, I'll take anything free, sure, or whatever. And she was sweet. She gave me a hug and really thanked me later when we were getting off the plane. And the pilots came out and were like, thank you so much for being there. It was a trip. It was a big trip. I'll never forget that. But the biggest part of that for me was just that I don't like being on planes. And luckily I wasn't so drunk or so out of it with the pills. I don't know why. For some reason I think because we were already halfway over our flight. So lots of times that stuff starts to wear off anyway. And you start to become, if you don't keep continuously drinking or taking pills, you sober up somewhat. So I think it's what it was. But I was totally sober enough to help her and everything. It was not, I didn't reek of booze or nothing. I was ready. And so that's I was there for the call. And that my nursing experience does come in handy. If you're a nurse, you're always a nurse on some level. And back then, this happened like 20 years ago or 15 years ago. It was in the 2000s. And I'm thinking now 15 years ago was 2007. So it was in the 2000s on one of our flights. And just when you become a nurse, you learn skills that help you for the rest of your life. And I've had to use these same skills later with other family members who have diabetes and low blood sugar and that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun, but also I was scared. It wasn't scary, but I wasn't aware that I was on a plane anymore, so to speak. It was just like she needed help. It was so shocking she had collapsed on me. That's all I could think about. And it was fine. And so that's my little story of helping somebody who fainted on a flight midair in the air. Crazy. I'm James Lott Jr. All the episodes are here on this channel. You can see them. Only you can see them if you're a Patreon subscriber. Usually if you are the $10, $20 gift giver, that's all for you to watch and enjoy. And if you want to hear some other stories, continue to watch them. Comment if you're thinking, James, ask you if you ever done this. Chances are I have. I have a story about it. So ask me if you want to hear something. If I have a story about it, I'll tell you. Thank you for listening, for watching. For all my other content, go to JLJ Media, all over social media, all over the audio world, and the YouTube channel is JLJ Media. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.